We are witnessing the end of the Democratic Party, at least as we know it. They are in a state of complete and total collapse, utter disorganization, and they are completely mystified as to why. They have their guy up in D.C., yet all across this country, their values are being soundly rejected. You mark my word, this last year will be seen historically as the year the Democratic Party destroyed itself. It has to do with the lockdown, and Florida is dead center of this issue. There's an article out today on Fox that confirms something that I have been wanting to try to elucidate to my audience for a long time. One of the biggest pushbacks that I get talking about coming to Florida, people come to me and say, Florida Maquis, aren't you afraid of all of those Northerners coming and bringing their Northern blue state voting values and flipping the state blue? If they're coming to Florida now, they have already lost their blue state values. They have already lost their Northern values, that it would be the only reason you would come to Florida now. We saw what happened in the last election. It was a whitewash. Trump beat Biden worse than he beat Clinton. And it keeps going the other way. I want to read something for you, and it's absolutely stunning to listen to people from New York talk. On the left-hand side here, I'm going to click through some images of different parts of Florida that some people I'm sure not aware of. The Ocala National Forest is what we're looking at right here. This is one of the clear springs that you can go swim in. And it's over in the center part of the state. It's absolutely one of the most beautiful places you have ever visited. It's almost otherworldly. It truly is. But let's scroll through here and let's see what New Yorkers, those blue state folks, are saying. This is, of course, an article from Fox. I'm just going to go ahead and start reading because there are so many different places to cover. To try to piecemeal it is just going to be too difficult. 2 weeks ago, when the thermometer plunged below 20 and indoor dining was still off limits in the city, intrepid New Yorkers continued to cling to vestiges of their social lives. On East 60th Street, patrons at the once buzzy Le Bilboquet, I have no idea how to pronounce that, were huddled in outdoor cubbies wearing hats and scarves while nibbling on Cajun chicken and sipping Bordeaux. 1 block up, 10 tables at Clubby La Goulou struggled to share 4 heaters, while diners gripped bowls of onion soup for extra warmth. But just a short flight away, in Palm Beach, Florida, where La Goulou recently opened an outpost that's a mirror image of its Manhattan mothership, all inside tables and seats at the bar are full. Patrons are laughing and living it up, seemingly oblivious to the perils of fraternizing during a pandemic. Quote, this is the owner of the bistro. I have escaped New York. And say I have come to Florida to flip the election. I have come to Florida to put to, rest all of this conservative nonsense. They're not saying that. They're not saying that. I have escaped New York, declared the bistro's owner. We take everyone's temperature when they arrive and keep the doors and windows open so fresh air circulates. Le Bilbo, whatever, owner Philip Delgrange is also in Palm Beach, where he premiered his famous Southern Sister this week. Quote, now remember, this is a liberal part of Florida, a blue state-ish part of Florida. Palm Beach is really working with you, not trying to put wood in your wheels, he said, no doubt referencing how New York City restaurants are just now, after 2 months of closure, allowed to seat indoor diners at 25% capacity. Quote, I have seen so many friends of mine, I can't believe it, and all our New York staff is asking to come work here. asking to come work here. You think they're going to vote for what they're leaving down here? Why do you think they're coming here? Denoyer and Delgrange are among the hordes of New Yorkers now enjoying life in Palm Beach County, where the influx of energy is palpable. Although masks are required inside commercial establishments throughout the county, people are, of course, allowed to remove them while eating or drinking or whatever, and there are no specific spacing rules. So it's not unusual to see bars full of closely packed, maskless patrons. Some Northerners feel as if they've landed in a parallel universe, with old friends and favorite gathering spots transported to sunnier setting. Upper East Sider Joe Wagner, 63, arrived in South Florida in late January with plans to stay for 2 weeks, but decided to remain through March. He's been enjoying dinners indoors at La Goulou or whatever. Sometimes I feel a little unsafe in New York. I was housebound. But it seems that so many people here are more relaxed because they already had COVID. The real estate developer told the Post. They say, don't worry, I have the antibodies, and say, that's great, but could you back up a little? Hey, I'm all about having personal space. We got plenty of space down here. And here, of course, they talk about because this is, of course, liberal Fox now, they have to put in this blurb about the COVID infection rate being to 7.5%, and it's 5% in New York. But really, if that's the case, why are they coming here? Palm Beach establishments are operating at full bore. Café Boulud in New York is closed until end of 2021. Closed until the end of 2021, but at its Palm Beach sibling, diners mingle in the lushly landscaped courtyard. New York restaurants Bice, St. Ambrose, and Almond all have locations on the island. Even the defunct Upper East Side Watering Hole Swifties has been resurrected in Palm Beach. What they're talking about here is a complete paradigm shift of money and wealth and power out of the Northeast and into Florida and the South. New York spots like 21 and Cipriani are shuttering. A chic monkey bar premiered at the new Opal Grand Hotel in Palm Beach County this week. And New York restaurant group host Campanola, Bill's Townhouse, is unveiling a new Delray Beach, Florida steakhouse, Avalon, at the end of the month. Delray Beach is up north of West Palm a little bit. Jupiter, that area. It's hard to find a seat, an empty seat, at any of the area's hot restaurants. I can't believe the astonishing amount of people here this year. It's like a prison break. That's a quote, said John Lehman, 59, who lives on the island and runs a sports marketing firm. Now, here's the part I want everyone to pay attention to, because this is key. This is a Long Island homemaker, Erica Holzer, speaking. I feel alive again. I could move here for the rest of my life. She and her husband are staying at the Opal Grand for 8 weeks. Quote, they take precautions but aren't absurd. We went to the monkey bar and had a fabulous time. It's just so freeing to be here. Feeling of freedom goes beyond restaurants too. Fitness addicts can only take masked spin sessions with a virtual instructor at gyms in New York, but SoulCycle is now holding alfresco classes on the green of the island's Royal Poinciana Plaza. It's next to an outpost of New York's Paula Breck Salon, where clients catch rays in the courtyard while their color sets and their nails dry. This is what's been going on in Florida for a long time. Live jazz performances announced for later this month at Kravis Center in West Palm. Another quote from a Northeasterner, Greenwich, Connecticut. It's a relief to be here. It feels like we can finally breathe. Event consultant Boo Hutt, 60, visited South Florida for 9 days. The irony is living in Florida is actually 1/3 less expensive than living in New York, and younger people are realizing that, said 70-year-old Gene Pressman, a former Manhattanite whose family founded Barney's and who now lives in Palm Beach. Palm Beach used to be full of uptown Manhattan people, but now the downtown people are here, added Pressman's wife, Christine, 48. People say it's like, quote unquote, the Wild West here. They are surprised at how open everything is here. Quote, I arrived here last week and it feels like a different world. He says he thinks that New York will feel like this again. Keep dreaming. And this is hilarious, this last part. Still, Upper East Sider Joe Wagner is not ready to head north anytime soon. A friend of mine sent me a photo of himself at La Goulue in New York wearing a hat and two scarves and saying that his fingers were turning blue. Wagner said I sent him back a photo of my pool. Now does this make sense? I know a lot of people think, oh, McKee, you just like the girls in bikinis. Well, who doesn't? But in any of these pictures I've ever shown, does it look like the girls or anybody's forcing them to do anything? Smiling and happy. It is inherent to just Florida. The beauty here extends from not only the way we govern and the way we live, but the landscape around us. It's almost hard to find something to look at that isn't beautiful, that isn't stunning. Yeah, you can go to the beach. Yeah, you can see the girls in bikinis, but there's so much more to Florida. And these New Yorkers are realizing this. This is going to be a watershed, life-changing event for people. This last year. This isn't going to be a temporary thing. The people in the Northeast and the North in general have just gotten a giant dose of heavy-handed tyranny from Washington, D.C. that didn't trickle its way down here. They're going to want that. They're going to want that feeling. They're going to want that existence. And if they can make it happen, why would you ever risk being locked down again? Meaning, why would you ever vote blue again? Why would you ever vote blue again? Name one blue state governor, one blue state senator, one blue state anything that pushed back at all against the lockdowns. There's not one. But Florida, we stood strong against this from day one. We were the first to open back up. We have reasonable precautions. And even these staunch, hardcore, their whole life, blue, quote-unquote, voters are realizing, hey, these people are not good people. These people are inherently bad people. And we're never going to vote for them again. We are never going to risk Florida. Never going to risk it. Because clearly the lines are drawn now between who values freedom and who values power. The choices could not be clearer now. Where you are matters. States' rights. I've said this before. I'll say it again. De facto, I know de jure, D-E space J-U-R-E, we are the quote-unquote United States of America. But factually, on the ground right now, there is absolutely no unity. None whatsoever. Because what fellowship has the children of light with the children of darkness? You couldn't have two more diametrically opposed places than California and Florida right now, even though both got sunshine, both got sandy beaches, both have agriculture, both have large populations, but that's about where it ends. The value system of those in control, That's what really makes the difference. Who is president does not. Let me say it again. Who is president does not make a difference. Not to the people of Florida. Biden's president? Wonderful. Changes nothing. Changes nothing for us. In fact, we're becoming more conservative and more free. And even New Yorkers are recognizing it, and I will leave it there. Like, share, subscribe. God bless. Have a happy Sunday. Enjoy the race. Daytona 500 kicks off here in about a couple hours. So anyway, it's always a good time. So we will see you next time. Thank you. Like, share, subscribe.